Hi, I'm Lisa Sabaniak from Life Like You Mean It, and today we're talking all about Yule. So this video is in three parts. The first part, we are going to talk about what is it? What is Yule? Second, we are going to look at how Yule is linked to Christmas. And in part three, we are going to look at how you can actually celebrate Yule, whether you are a modern witch or not. Let's get started. So, part one, what is Yule? So, Yule is a pagan celebration that can be traced back to as early as the 5th century. So, it's been around for quite some time. And we've got records of it being practiced by Germanic peoples with paganism, and also as far back as with the Norse, with Vikings, etc. So, Yule is essentially the celebration of the winter solstice, but rather than the winter solstice being a single day, right, which this year, 2022, falls on December 21st, Yule is something that is usually celebrated for a couple of months. Now, I said that it is a winter solstice celebration because that's exactly what it is, right? The winter solstice is basically our shortest day of the year, but what leads from after that is that we have the return of the sun. And so that is what Yule is really celebrating, is saying goodbye to the darkness and hello to the lights. And in this way, it is a celebration of transformation, if you will, or that shadow side. So, part two, how is Yule linked with Christmas? So, basically, I said that this goes back to the 5th century, that we've got some, evidence of this being practiced that many years ago. And essentially, as Christianity started to spread across the world, they took many of the pagan traditions, including Yule and the celebration of winter solstice, and they incorporated them into Christian practices. So, really, what was going on at a deep level there was that there was some resistance from some pagans for moving into Christianity. And so, those in power at the time thought that, if we incorporate some of what they already celebrate, what they already believe and practice, if we incorporate that into our religion, then that will make it a little bit easier for them to digest and kind of make that jump over into Christianity. And it worked. So, hence, we've got a lot of overlapping then from Yule, as celebrated traditionally by pagans, and Christmas, traditionally celebrated by Christians. And what I mean by overlap is that this is a celebration for both communities. So, Yule is also celebrating just as Christmas is celebrating. It often involves feasting. Right? You have your family together and you have a Christmas meal. Typically, that's exactly what happens with Yule. And also, you have things like the Yule log and wreaths, right? Which we have long known is part of our Christmas celebration. But actually, way back when wreaths were made and hung with pride, etc., the Yule log was burned in the fire, right? These types of expressions that we have and these traditions that we have with Christmas actually were from Yule. They were part of what was incorporated in. So you're actually already celebrating some of Yule without even realizing it. Now, of course, one of the big differences is in what we're celebrating. Because, of course, with Christmas, that is traditionally obviously celebrating Christianity and Jesus. Whereas with Yule, it's again celebrating the sun, right? The return of the sun. So it's a time to reflect on, what has gone on in the past and how we want to make some changes for the future. So it's a bit more of a kind of personal as well as a tribal type of celebration and commitment. Side note, if you are loving this, you are a baby witch or maybe new on your spiritual seeking journey and you would like some mentorship, I have a beautiful membership that is just for you. This is 3 tiers starting as low as £3 a month that will help you on your modern witchcraft journey. We include some rituals and some spells and some wonderful information like how do you even build an altar, for example. So if this interests you, go ahead and scan this QR code here or grab the link down in the description, and I'll see you there. So part three brings us to how can you celebrate? So, already mentioned that you are likely actually celebrating without realizing it by doing those little things like hanging your wreath, right? If you have a Yule log, things like that. But of course, you can continue to do the same sort of thing if you're a modern witch or not, and you just want to actually get into more of Yule. And here's how you can do it. You can do your original practices, right? With the wreath, with the Yule log, with the feasting, these types of things. But you can do them with the intention of reflecting on the past, working through any kind of shadow type of elements to yourself that have come up, looking forward to the new. So, looking forward to the light, right? So that it removes all shadow from your life and you are able to see out of the darkness, right? Start celebrating the fact that we've had a harvest and now we've gone dormant. And now this will be the time after the 21st of December this year, will be the time when the sun starts to make its return. And you can just have that intentional celebration when you are actually preparing your food for the feast or preparing your wreath or putting out your Christmas decorations, right? You can have that intention alongside. And the other thing is that Yule, like I already mentioned, is typically celebrated over a couple of month period of time rather than just on a single day. And which is kind of similar to Christmas when you think of it. Christmas Day, of course, is celebrated on an individual day. But of course, there's a whole lead up to it where we are preparing, right? We're buying Christmas presents, we're putting decorations around the house, we're getting food and recipes together for our gathering of people. And so, much the same with Yule, we are also preparing. So, you can do the exact same sort of thing with your preparations, but with the intention that you are preparing for this celebration that comes with the winter solstice on the 21st of December. Now, when you are making your wreath, if you decide to make one from scratch, this is a perfect way to celebrate Yule. And what you can do is realize that each of the elements that you are adding from nature represents something particularly to pagans or from our early ancestors that would have been celebrating. So, for example, if you're using evergreens, which we typically use, it will have pine and we'll have holly, some mistletoe, maybe some ivy in there, right? Those types of evergreen plants represent everlasting life as well as protection and prosperity. Right? Everything that was done, especially back in the 5th century, right? But our early ancestors and with paganism, everything was done with intention. And it was for protection because we lived in a very different time and we needed to have protection. And for, abundance and good crops, a good yield, and healthy cattle, and all of those things that were very important to us then as tribal communities. And so that's what this represents with the everlasting life, right? The evergreens don't die out in the winter. So it has that same sort of meaning. Now, I mentioned feasting as well, and that's another quick way that you can actually celebrate. Just have some people over, right? And again, it's about the intention. And again, the difference here is rather than it being a single day, you can do this, throughout a 1 month period of time, right? We've got the 12 days of Christmas. You could make it the 12 Yule days, which is often how it is celebrated. And so each day can be a feast. If you already sit down to the table with your family, whether it's just you and your partner and your children, then you just make a point of actually doing that this particular feast is for Yule. And you can talk about perhaps the things that you are reflecting on, the things that you would like to do differently, right? How you would like to celebrate on the actual solstice day, which is the 21st of December this year. Now, another really great thing that I like to do when I have a feast day is I like to do some sort of manifestation or wish ritual that I will place in this. And so it's like for me, because I'm Canadian, we celebrate Thanksgiving as well. And what we do is we go around the table and we say out loud what it is that we are thankful for. So I do the same thing with a manifestation ritual, and I light a candle. Each of the people that are present get their own candle to light, and we say out loud what it is that we would like to make space for in this upcoming year. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've loved making it. If you haven't already subscribed, you can do that here or here. And go ahead and do that now. And don't forget to click on that gray bell icon so you never miss another notification of one of my videos. Bless.